I'm meeting my boyfriend's family for the first time, and he just told me he's been lying to them for years about his work and our relationship history. Now he wants me to keep up the act so he doesn't get embarrassed. Posted by u/grapesanddrapes. So, my boyfriend, 28M, and I, 28F, have been together for 4 years. We live across the country from his parents, so this Christmas will be the first time I actually meet them. They are hosting us at their house for 2 weeks. I'm super thrilled to meet his family. It will be his parents and 2 siblings who still live at home. He has met my parents quite a few times because they live in the same area as us. He moved here for school about 10 years ago, loved it, found a job, and stayed. Everything is going amazing. We moved in together 2 years ago, and our relationship is just progressing naturally. We aren't really in a rush to move quickly or anything, but I would call it a very serious relationship at this point. So, anyway, yesterday we boarded our 6-hour flight. He seemed a little bit nervous and fidgety, but I know that he doesn't fly very much, so I attributed it to that. I told him I was there for him if he needed anything, to comfort him, and to let me know if I could do anything to calm his nerves. He said he was fine, and we were having a pretty good flight. Then, partway through the flight, he grabbed my hand and told me he wanted to tell me something. He told me that his parents think we are in a fairly new relationship. They don't know that we live together. They don't know that he is close with my family. He told them that we met at work when, in reality, we met at school years ago. We had a lot of the same classes and stayed friends for a long time. He also told me that they think he lives in an entirely different city. He lied to them about what degree he has, and they believe he has a completely different job. He told me that a few white lies to make his parents happy, so they would keep sending him money during school, snowballed into not knowing how to tell them the truth, and now, in their eyes, he has a totally fake life. He also told them that I work in the same field as his fake job, even though I don't. On top of that, he gave them a completely random family backstory for me. He really wants me to keep up appearances with the stories he told them over this holiday because he doesn't want to make a big scene and be embarrassed about having to lay it all out. He would prefer to wait until we get home again to tell them everything. I feel extremely uncomfortable with this, and I was honestly pretty shocked. I have said hello to his mom during speakerphone conversations, popped in for Skype hellos when they were chatting, and honestly had no idea that he had made up a huge story about us and me. I realize now that I've only actually spoken to her in the last year, which is how long his family thinks we've been together. It makes me feel like I can't trust him. He promised me that this is the only thing he's ever lied about. He said he lied because he wanted his parents to be happy with his decisions and wanted them to think he was making the choices they wanted for him. Would it be reasonable to assume that these are the only lies he has told and that he hasn't fabricated anything within our own relationship? He never told me that they didn't know anything about us, he always made it seem like they did. I'm not really sure where to go from here or how to tell him that I don't want to do this. His parents paid for our tickets. Would the nice thing to do be to just keep my mouth shut and let him sort this out on his own when we get home, and just play along? I don't know what to do. We got here yesterday, and everyone is fabulous, but so far, I have just kept my mouth shut about everything. The first big family dinner is tonight, which I expect is where most of the conversation about us and what we do is going to come up, and I'm not sure how to handle it. Relevant comments. Commenter. His parents paid for our tickets. Would the nice thing to do be to just keep my mouth shut and let him sort this out on his own when we get home, and just play along? Why would continuing to lie to these people be the best way to repay them for their hospitality? Ops response. I just meant that I don't want to be the reason there's a huge blowout if this is something I should be letting him keep between them, the people directly affected. I didn't mean I want to thank them by being a horrible person. Commenter 2. I don't think you can ever trust your boyfriend again. He's lying because he's afraid to disappoint his parents, and there's no reason to believe he wouldn't do the same to you. If he gets fired from his job, he might just pretend he's still going to work every day and never tell you. If he cheats on you, he'll never admit it. If he goes into debt, he'll keep it secret and pretend everything is fine while it continues to get worse. He didn't tell you about the situation with his parents until the last minute when he had no other option, except the option to come clean, which he didn't take. That's the level of truthfulness and integrity you can expect from him. He'll lie to you when it makes him look better or to cover for one of his previous lies, and he'll tell you the truth only when he's out of other options. Ops response. It's really hard to swallow that. I see what you're saying, though. Commenter 2. I would be more understanding if his parents had impossible standards that he could never live up to and he had to lie to them just to maintain his peace and sanity, but that's not the impression I'm getting. It sounds like he's been lying about a lot of things for a long time and still thinks he can get out of it by telling more lies. I would tell him to come clean to his parents before dinner because you won't cover for him. If he does it and actually faces the consequences of his lies for once, maybe he can learn something from this and change his ways. Op's response: yeah, that's true. And yes, his parents weren't expecting a surgeon or anything, they think he teaches, but he's an architect. It's still an awesome profession and in no way lesser than being a teacher, so I don't understand it at all. I think I will have to tell him that either he comes clean or I'll answer honestly at dinner. Commenter 3. What I don't understand is that the guy is an architect, even though his parents wanted him to be a teacher. How can he think so poorly of his own parents, who paid for his education, to assume they wouldn't respect his choices? Unless they're extremely strict or abusive, I just don't understand why he would conceal so much. Op's response: yeah, it's a fabulous job, and he has wonderful parents. I'm sure they would be incredibly proud. His younger sister is a McDonald's manager, and they treat her promotions as if she had just made partner at a law firm. There's no way they would be disappointed. I feel so frustrated with him, and honestly, I feel betrayed for his parents, they paid his way. It's so frustrating to feel trapped in this situation. Update same day. So, I decided to tell him that I won't be perpetuating the lies, but I won't outright say anything because I don't feel it would be appropriate for me to be the reason everything blows up. I actually decided not to go to the first family dinner, and I'm unsure if I'm going to stay at this point, but I don't really know what to do. I didn't pay for the ticket, so I feel really horrible about seeming ungrateful, but I got a hotel for 3 nights just to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm still thinking because everything is so intertwined and complicated, our bank accounts, our rental agreement, etc. So apart from the fact that I want to make this relationship work because I love him, it's also not simple enough for me to just break away and leave. I want to work this out for everyone and figure out how to help him tell his family before we leave. Anyway, I'm so sorry for the late update, but I will update again when I have a more concrete plan. His family is amazing, and I feel wretched about everything. Second update 1 day later. Okay, I think we have come to what will hopefully be the start of a resolution. So, I told his mom that I was incredibly grateful for her generosity so far, even just 1 day into the trip, which is why I actually needed to take some time away and stay at a hotel for a few days. Staying with her didn't feel right until we cleared up some serious personal issues that had just come to light. I talked to my boyfriend, and we decided on a plan. Tomorrow morning, his mom and dad are meeting us at a restaurant in the hotel. I offered to take them to brunch to discuss everything. I told him and his mom, separately, that I really want to be a part of this family, and for that to happen, we all need to have a big conversation. The plan is, at brunch, my boyfriend is going to lay everything out on the table. I'm going to explain to them that I didn't even realize the lies that had been going on, and I wasn't comfortable staying there and lying to their faces. I had just found out about this the day we landed. I wanted to make sure that my boyfriend resolved this with them because from the moment I found out, I felt horrible, and I wanted to start off on the right foot with them. We both wanted to make sure that my boyfriend came clean while we were here. When I was talking to my boyfriend, there were definitely some tears, and I think he's going to feel so much weight lifted off his chest when we finally talk about this. I really don't think he wanted or intended for this to happen. I don't think he would have brought me here if he wasn't okay with the truth eventually coming out. I will definitely update when the conversation happens. Thank you so much for the advice and support, everyone. Relevant comments. Commenter. Is this a cultural thing, maybe? I know some ethnicities get so much crap from their parents that kids learn to lie reflexively. Of course, you should break up, but since you don't want to snoop on his actual life, he is likely lying about what he's lying about. Op's response. I don't think so, honestly. They're pretty secular, white-bread Irish folk. I honestly couldn't see it being cultural. But maybe, I guess, I'm not sure what Irish people are normally like with their kids. Commenter 2. Is there a chance that your boyfriend is lying about being an architect? Op's response. I know for sure he is an architect, I'm not worried about that part, genuinely. He does a lot of work from our home office. We also hosted the Christmas party for his office for the last 2 years, so I know his bosses and co-workers really well. I'm 100% positive they would have corrected me or not mentioned him during conversations and discussions about design projects. He's in a semi-senior role at his work, and I frequently stop by his office after work. We usually meet in the reception area to drive home. His office also has his name and job title, Project Manager, on his door. Trust me, he couldn't be fabricating his career with me so close and our general relationship with the office. Not trying to argue with you or anything, as I'm sure there are other lies, but his career and our bills are totally kosher, there's no worry there. I'm an industrial designer and familiar enough with the career, and have worked in the field long enough, that I would catch a lie about his work pretty instantly. My guess is that it has something to do with his parents funding him and assuming he has an education degree because that's what he told them he was taking for some reason. Whether he knew right away that wasn't what he was going to do or changed once he got to school, I honestly have no idea. We hadn't met yet at that time. That's why it's so strange and frustrating for me because he has a fabulous career. Third update 2 days later. It feels like a lot to type out, so I'm going to try to condense it to be as straightforward and simple as possible. Basically, the brunch went really well. I was very impressed by my boyfriend. He was actually really forthcoming and laid pretty much everything out. He apologized to me and his parents, and he gave me an opportunity to tell them anything I wanted about my actual family and my life. They were really interested, and it was refreshing to start getting to know them on an honest level. He essentially came clean about absolutely everything, including some personal stuff I didn't even know about, and he apologized to both me and them. He promised to take steps to earn back our trust, including going to therapy. It actually felt like it brought us closer together. His parents were quite hurt and initially upset, but I think it really changed how they see me as a partner for their son and future daughter-in-law, which makes me really happy. In the end, they were very supportive and reassured him that, at the end of the day, he is still loved, they just need to start rebuilding trust. I'm going to continue staying at their house, and they will tell his siblings together. I actually ended up sitting down for a cup of tea with his mom, and she explained that she's going to talk to him privately about the pressure he might have felt to lie to them. I guess they now realize they put more pressure on him than on any of their other kids, since he was originally planning to follow in his dad's footsteps as an English teacher. She told me that she really likes me and hopes this situation doesn't affect my view of their family or her son. She also thanked me for pushing for honesty and said she can't wait for the opportunity to get closer to us. My boyfriend also seems much more open to having conversations about coming back and having them stay with us. In the long run, I'm really glad I didn't make any hasty decisions because I'm happy with how things turned out. To me, it just seems like mistakes on both sides culminated in a really bad choice on his end. Thank you again, everyone, for the advice.